Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the channel. It is me here, Angel, back on Wrestle Relaunch here. Today we have another long episode, I should say, nonetheless, because we have a brand new introduction. No, sorry, a brand new addition to the channel. This is two of three to Wrestle Relaunch. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce you to Nikki.
You can look, but you can't touch. How we doing?
I knew he was going to do it. Yep.
What's good? What's good? Happy to be here.
We are so glad to have you here as well.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah.
We're here to speak about people half naked wrestling
he's so
on
happy.
television.
He's so happy about Nikki being here. He forgot about me and Paul. Come on, man. Like what the?
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, and also my other servants, Paul and Villanonymous are here to help us
Yes.
with the channel.
You can look, and you might actually also be able to touch.
Oh Jesus!
I did my homework this week and watched the Royal Rumble 2022.
Oh God!
So
He's a great worker, the greatest worker ever.
Stop enabling him. It's so
Well, we're here to
bad.
talk.
Stop enabling him.
We're here to talk about a lot of things, the 2025 Rumble and maybe the 22 Rumble. We'll throw
Oh
it in there.
God!
Who
Here we
knows?
go.
There's a lot of news this week. If you guys listen to Raw, there was a bunch of Elimination Chamber qualifications this week, but there was also a SmackDown that none of us watched and half watched. And other news too. Like the biggest news was Kendrick Lamar. He just destroyed
No,
Drake
we're
on
not
live
doing. No,
television.
no, 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 no,
No,
no, no. We're not doing.
the
We agreed.
Ricky
We're not
Starks.
doing that. Yeah, there we
Rick
go.
Ricky Starks has finally been freed from that company and is now in the bigger company, NXT. He beats
Yes.
the other company every week in a lot of things, but I'm happy to see Ricky Starks in NXT. What are you guys' opinions on the finally landing of Ricky Starks?
He looked great in a tank top. He did great. It
Are
was
we?
fantastic.
Are we able to call him Ricky Starks yet? Like they haven't officially given us a name yet.
I mean, I like even though they like I'm all about like the idea of not actually saying it out loud. Like, and I think that kind of plays into Ricky Starks as like a real human being. Like we were talking earlier about how he was on Chris Van Fleet, and CVV was like, "You read the comments, don't you?" And Ricky was like, "Yes, I love the comments." And I think this is just a I think he understands social media pretty well, and I think this is just a unique thing that they can do in this instance. And it was also like the way he came out, like he did the "You know who I am," harkening back to who
Scott Hall.
Scott Hall,
Yeah.
and it's just like, oh yeah, there we go. And it was completely in the middle of nothing, like I think Vic Joseph was in the middle of talking, and then all of a sudden you hear a commotion and then the camera pans back out I thought it was done really really well to kind of make it truly feel unexpected, and the people that were standing around him were just like looking at him with turds hanging out of their mouth like, this is what. I
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
because it gives you that feel. Because WWE, when somebody comes out of the crowd, it's like, all right, they're coming out of the crowd. It's a big crowd. They're gonna work their way down. No, Ricky Starks just walked in to like the 3,000 people that building holds. Like he's just standing in the middle of these people that are all going crazy, and I'm just like, yes,
And
Yeah.
no theme music. No theme music.
yeah,
I mean, which I can't wait to hear what they do for him. I feel like there's, not to like completely change gears on the idea of Ricky Starks, but this is about Ricky Starks. Entrance music is getting a little bit better. Like Tiffany Stratton's music right now, fucking awesome.
yes.
Jacob Fatu's entrance music, awesome.
Oh,
Like all these,
it's such a banger.
it's such a banger. Like all these folks that are starting to creep up right now, like Shinsuke's new music, actually kind of like it. Actually kind of like it. And it's a good departure from the anthemy thing because that's not his gimmick now. But yeah, I'm excited to hear what they do. And with this contract signing, does he do his strike a pose entrance? What does the music sound like? Because it was very like his AEW theme was like pretty like New Orleans, like bump bump bump, like he did like the trombone like movement. Ah, he was so much fun in AEW, but I'm glad he's not there anymore.
Yeah.
I'll let my bias be known immediately.
Oh yeah. No, we don't do bias here. We call it hating.
we call it being real.
geez.
Yeah.
I can just being real, man. I'm just
Hey,
being
we
real,
don't we
dog.
don't we don't have bias. We're entitled to our correct opinions.
That's true. That's true. Paul, what about you? What do you think about what do you think about Ricky Starks?
Well, um, I don't know much about him. I know of him. So yeah, it was a surprise, and to have it on. I was actually watching Tuesday night. So, um, but I am not a big fan, unfortunately, of the other company.
Yeah,
So I haven't seen much of his work. But from the buzz that's he's gotten, it could be sky's the limit.
100%. I mean, I don't think anybody's really seen much of his work for how long was he off TV?
A long
Almost
while.
like a year. Like Collision 2023 was he just randomly disappeared with Big Bill, and Big Bill ended up with Jericho, and
Oh,
never Ricky
Oh,
Starks ever again. And then he
I'm
got
the
pulled from all
learning
the indie shows.
tree.
Oh God.
Oh please God no, please God no.
Hey! You watch what you say. I'm a fucking wizard.
Hey,
Oh Jesus no.
one of
did
these.
you
Go ahead.
did you see his comments about people when they asked him about people chanting please retire?
Oh God,
He goes,
No.
no.
well,
Delusional.
I'm a
Yeah.
heel.
Delusional.
That's what they're supposed to do. Shut up. Go
Oh, how
away.
delusional.
Dude, hey, he
Um,
he went full force. Like he's like, they're booing me. I'm a heel. It's what they're supposed to be doing. But if every time the show takes a dip, my segment's always the top rated. I'm just like, this guy is just
Delusional.
so lost.
Delusional.
I mean, is it? Are we gonna look back at it and go like, okay, he was kind of being a genius because he probably, because I don't think Chris Jericho is. He can't like. I can't imagine him being that delusional. I think he's just at this point. I think maybe he's trapped in staying in kayfabe, and and he's probably thinking like, yeah, that's exactly what someone who's delusional, this character that I've reinvented myself, because everybody keeps talking about, oh, Chris Jericho, he's reinvented himself so many times and he's become so many different people to stay relevant. Has he, or is he just like incredibly delusional, or is he playing that he's incredibly delusional? I really hope it's the latter
I'm
because
I'm willing to give him the benefit of the doubt that it's the latter, but we all have to remember that like 4 or 5 years ago, he said that AEW was going to jump over WWE's ratings in 4 or 5 years.
Hey,
Like,
AEW will be beating Raw's ratings next week. Don't forget it.
wow. Like now Raw has Netflix deals worth billions, going over millions of viewers every week. Like it's a
And
little
WDB
it's a little broken
WBD
now.
Now wait,
WBD paid 100K.
yeah.
because Meltzer's calling out Netflix saying that they're lying about the numbers.
Oh, I saw that. What?
I can't wait for Meltzer to get sued by all of the lawyers that they have over at fucking Netflix.
Do you think they would waste their time with that messy old man?
If he goes that far and publishes a story big enough saying that they lie about their viewership, I've seen NBC do it, and Netflix is way bigger than NBC at this point in time in world history.
Well, yeah, yeah. Well, either way, Ricky Starks, very excited. Entrance music, super excited. I think we're all on the same page there. That's exciting.
I'm definitely on that page with the theme music because what in one of our upcoming segments, we had a return with theme music coming back, like that got rid of the theme that nobody liked, and like we'll talk about that because as we like to say here, we'll get there, but
We'll get there.
WWE's theme musics are really going back to where they should be. The fans are into it, like nobody likes Def Rebel. Nobody hates Def Rebel more than Angel does. So
Oh,
like
don't
that
even. I can
that's
sit
just a
here for
thing.
30 minutes. I can
But
sit here for
like
30 minutes.
there are some themes like they're going back to CFO. Like I'm
No,
digging it.
CFO doesn't exist anymore. They got disbanded in a lawsuit. It was terrible.
Okay,
WWE
so
tried to buy out their contract, and they don't exist anymore because the record label they were like with wouldn't let them get bought out by WWE, and their only option was to disband and not ever be together as a
So
group.
how do you explain WWE going back to the phenomenal one?
Because that was Jim Johnston. As you saw in the Netflix credits, it said Jim Johnston.
Oh
Well,
shit, yeah, I forgot about that. Jim
let,
Johnston was just greatness back then. I have all the
It
let me
just
anthology albums.
on a random Raw, it just said that Jim Johnston was credited for the music on Netflix the other week.
let me raise my hand and say something very nerdy.
There you go.
Yes.
CFOs were it was the publisher, right? So you've got two
Yes,
different
it was something.
yeah. So when you release a song, you have two think if you have two different pizzas, right? One song is two different pizzas. One pizza is the song itself, the file, the MP3, the CD, the cassette, the vinyl record, right? Then the other pizza
The IP
is
rights.
yeah, it's the songwriting and
Yeah.
it's the public performance side of it. And it's if it gets used on TV, if it gets used in a movie, if it gets played in a TJ Maxx, right? So the CFOs were having issues in getting compensated for what they thought would be fair from their publisher. They had an agreement with the files themselves with WWE, but the publishing they didn't. So like they didn't have their own publishing company. They got a publishing deal based off of how well their physical rights were doing. Someone said, "Hey, we'll give you I'll throw out a fake number. This is not real, but we'll give you $300,000 and we'll handle all your publishing. We're going to give you $300,000 up front. All the money that we know you're going to earn off of those TV placements, the WWE films, catalog stuff that you're doing, or anytime the song gets played. Like if a WWE song gets played in a football stadium, let's say there's only 20,000 people there, but the football stadium seats 90,000. You get paid as if 90,000 people were there, even if there's only 20,000 people there. So they knew giving them that massive advance that they would earn that money back and then give them a little bit more. Like once they hit that threshold, like if they didn't make that $300,000 a year, doesn't matter. You still got $300,000 that year, right? If you earned over that, you get more. Well, they because they were inexperienced when they first signed their publishing deal, they accepted a really big advance and a really small payout. By the time that they got to year 5, where they were having huge success with like the new or not New Day, because New Day was Jim Johnston, but Shinsuke's theme, Seth Rollins's theme, Becky's theme, Kevin Owens' theme, like all of these massive songs that were doing great numbers. They were like, hey, so we're not really getting that big of a cut from the mechanical. And we're also realizing that you guys are getting a lot of money from, and that's when they went to Fox, right? That's when they first started going there. So these huge television rights deals were coming up that were including the music library. And so CFOs were like, "Hey, can we get a better deal?" And they're like, "Well, the only way that you can do that, you'd have to get WWE to buy you out of your agreement." And WWE said, "Hey, we'll buy them out." They're like, "Well, no, we didn't mean it. We didn't mean it. We're not getting you out of this deal." So that publishing company still uh, does the administrative work for the music that still gets used to this day. They still get paid as songwriters and they still get paid as royalty holders, but Def Rebel is slowly replacing all of those old entrance themes. And like Jim Johnston, that dude is a genius. That whole scenario I just explained to you about CFOs, Jim Johnston, all of that was done on a handshake deal with Vince. He owned his pie of the publishing and he owned the majority of the pie of his masters. So Jim had like the deal of all the greatest deal. He had the greatest deal
Oh God.
ever in the history of music, and he still owns the rights to like "With My Baby Tonight." Like he still owns the rights to that, which is unheard of.
Oh my God.
But dude, he is for someone that spent a lot of time just making funk songs sound like they're different genres, like Vader's theme. It's a funk riff, the entire song. It's almost the same riff as everybody come aboard the Ho train. It's the same riff in
Yeah.
Godfather's music. But he just had this knack for making Aldo Montoya sound larger than life.
There you go. And ladies and gentlemen, this is why I hired Nikki.
Yeah, you're
Nicky!
welcome.
I don't know what I'm talking about 99% of the time when it comes to AEW.
Well, yeah, that's a whole other cacophony, dude. That is, from what I've heard, that is the biggest outlaw. To use someone else's phrase, the most outlaw mud show mess of music licensing. Yeah, I could talk on for that, but I've already taken up way too much time with the show about something that probably no one gives a fuck about.
Hey,
So
I mean, as long as he still owns the rights to, stand back, I think we'll
Oh
all be all
Jesus!
right.
Oh yeah, that might have been a cover actually.
Oh, God damn it. See, you're pulling back the curtain, man. You're exposing the
I'm
business.
sorry.
Like,
No.
I'm
Honestly,
kidding.
Stand Back actually was written by Vince McMahon. I
There you
apologize.
go. There's it. That's the one nice thing you people are going to hear us say about Vince McMahon. You're welcome.
Oh, I got a lot of things to say about standing back. You got to stand back and stand
Nope,
by.
nope, 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 nope. Don't do it.
Michelle
Nope.
McCool
Nope.
is in the Hall of Fame 2025.
Say Vince.
Oh, so okay. For those that are hard of hearing or are shaking their head, like, did he just say that? Let's say it again, but real slow. Michelle McCool is this year's second inductee into the WWE Hall of Fame after one Paul Triple H Levesque. How?
Oh,
I feel
Jesus.
like I feel like Michael Scott doing the exit interview for Toby Flenderson, where he goes, "All right, first
Yes.
question: who do you think you are? How dare you? No, how is this possible? I don't want to completely doo-doo on Michelle McCool. I get it. That was a different time. That was a formative time for women's wrestling. I love I love wrestling in general, so that means I like men and women's. I'm not trying to Pete Hegseth this, but I like women's wrestling for certain things, and I like men's wrestling for certain things. All of it. I love all of the flavors of ice cream. But Michelle McCool, really? Before William Regal?
I don't think
Well,
William Regal would have fit into the women's division very well. Go ahead,
yeah,
I
Paul.
was
Before
about to.
before
but yeah,
before Cyndi Lauper? Before Miss Elizabeth? Really? Michelle McCool?
Miss Elizabeth was a scandal. We can't do that yet.
Oh, yeah. Don't even get me started with that villain.
But okay, even if like China.
Look at the reason why China got in and Miss Elizabeth hasn't yet. Come on now. You just answered your own
Well,
question.
Lori just get in because of DX?
Yeah. Well, no, she got in by herself too.
Oh, did she?
I think she did. Hold
I think
on.
she got in with DX,
I
but
don't think so. I think it was
but
just part of
hold on.
deal.
Hold
Yeah,
on.
Paul. I think
Hold
you
on.
were a fan of Michelle McCool being in the Hoff, weren't you?
Well, I don't mind it, but what irritates me, if you're talking about just women that haven't been put in there yet, is my favorite of all time, Victoria,
Yeah.
is still not in the Hall of Fame. Now I know they just signed her to a Legends deal not too long ago, so
hmm
I was hoping this year was going to be the year, but then we get Michelle McCool.
Well, here's the thing. But the very week that we conducted all of the onboarding interviews for all you guys that just came on with us, me and Sponge were having this conversation about who should be going into the Hall of Fame. We didn't know any of that yet, and then the Triple H announcement came out, and that one makes sense. Like, regardless of his position in the company right now, that man deserves to be in the Hall of Fame by himself.
My
Sure.
conspiracy theory stands tall, though. I think he purposely fired Vince so he could purposely put himself in the Hall of Fame.
Why would he purposely fire Vince and not put Vince in the Hall of Fame, knowing Vince wasn't going to do it himself? He's gonna get in
Vince.
eventually one day, but again, scandal. So like, no.
Oh,
Uh,
it's never gonna happen.
we were talking about the women's division and who we thought should go in. I mentioned a name
Mickey
like
James.
Michelle McCool, and he mentioned Mickey James. We've got we both brought up Victoria because like she was there and she was great. You have to look at the time period that Michelle McCool was in WWE where there was absolutely nothing. You had Tori Wilson, you had Eve Marie, like you had people that just nobody wanted to deal with in the ring, and Michelle McCool was constantly champion. Like she was the Charlotte of 2004. Like she was the one they trusted with the belt going forward, the Divas Championship, the whole partnership with Layla, the breaking of the title. Like she had some fun spots in the women's division. Like there are people who deserve it a bit more than she does, but she was one of the first three names that came to the top of my head when we were having this whole who do you think should be in, who do you think, the fact that the fact that Victoria's on a Legends contract now, like Demolition just got added to a Legends contract the other day. I don't think the Hall is done with their females yet. I don't think the Hall is done looking for the big could be headliners for this Hall of Fame. Like obviously Triple H is the headliner for the Hall of Fame. I wouldn't be surprised if Cena got in the year of his retirement.
That's
Like
one
the
I remember telling you about. I think they're swerving us with Triple H. They say he's the headliner, but you can't forget the big man is retiring. Cena is retiring
yeah.
this year, so I think he's gonna be in the Hall of Fame because I think it'd be a perfect segue. Because like Rey Mysterio was in the Hall of Fame and he still wrestled that year.
I'll raise you
It's
guys this. If there's a bigger name women wise in the WWE, there is one name that is the biggest to possibly be into the WWE Hall of Fame that isn't, and that's Stephanie McMahon. Like
The
if they wanted to go the whole nepotism route, they could have gone with Stephanie McMahon over Michelle McCool. Like I'm saying, Michelle McCool, based on merit alone, got herself into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate that. I think especially in this season of the McMahon, family. Like was as me personally, this is just me being soft, SAWFT.
Oh my God. Yeah, we saw him
I
last week on the cruise too.
Oh yeah, that I saw that. That was great. I enjoyed that. I mean like put Triple H, put Stephanie, put Shane, like I don't care. Put Linda in there, like whatever. But
Okay.
no,
All right, man.
All right,
Get in
but
the ring with me right now.
we're
We're
not
getting
trying to
into
put
it.
any more politicians into
We're
the
gonna,
Hall of Fame right now. Come on.
well,
bro.
but let's be honest. Let's be honest. Yes, like I
Nope.
don't,
Don't bring
I
up
don't really
politics.
want to.
Don't do it.
No, 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 I'm not. I don't want to think about, and that's why I sighed when I even said her name.
Yeah.
There was a very formative, and Paul, I know you agree on this too, man. Like there was a very formative time in the early 2000s where the McMahon Helmsley era, the Stephanie, the Shane of it all, the Linda of it all, the Vince of it all. I mean, good. Like when I was traveling this week, I had a very long stretch of road, and I literally listened to WrestleMania 12, and I just got goosebumps hearing Vince on commentary.
Yeah.
Like I really hope that I mean I personally hope that all of this stuff is not true. It's kind of hard for it not to be because of just how strong the evidence is, or so we seem. I wasn't there. I don't think any of the other like other of us here were there during that time. He does seem like an absolute creep. Um, but I hope at some point, just because of and maybe it's just nostalgia, maybe I'm just super tired, but I hope at some point Vince gets more than just coming out to the first Raw in a while and goes, "Where the hell have you been?" Like I hope he gets something else but maybe that'll probably just be in hell. Anyway, I would love to
Yeah.
see Stephanie McMahon in the Hall of Fame. I think it'd be
Yeah,
super dope.
I mean, like if we're talking about more deserving women to be into the Hall of Fame before Michelle McCool, uh, either one of them with the last name McMahon has to be a front runner there. Like you, it's funny that you brought up WrestleMania 12 because I was thinking it in my head when we were talking about Linda McMahon. WrestleMania 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, I think 13 and 14 all had that same theme song to it, and
Da, 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 da.
it's
Yeah, man.
still Linda McMahon's theme music when she walks out to the ring. Like, I
And don't
mean,
forget,
it's
Oh,
iconic.
don't forget, Linda McMahon will be putting in a new class into the education system of
No,
the
we're not
WWE.
doing that.
It'll be the history of the World Wrestling Federation.
well, I mean, like, I mean, if we're talking about women, right?
uh,
Wendy Richter
yeah.
still doesn't have a solo induction. Bull Nakano.
No,
Um,
Bull Nakano was last year.
Bulls
Yeah.
in, yeah.
oh, that's
Mm-hmm.
right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Um, uh, I mean, it'd be really funny if they put Layla in next. Lay cool. But they did it because like Taker is so over right now for whatever reason. I can't stand his podcast. His co-host is just like youth
Oh,
pastor vibes.
Oh,
he's
thank you.
oh
Thank you.
Jesus.
I'm not the only one that hates that guy.
I'll
No,
So
raise.
I don't know. I don't know if I hate him, but I just feel like he's gonna be
he's
like, hey,
annoying.
I want you to step over to my truck and have you ever tried beer before? Like he just has that type of energy. You know what I mean? Um, but yeah, like since Taker's like so far up someone's butthole because The Rock is now gone, they're like, "Hey Taker, get in here. Do a couple meet and greets at Mania this year, and we'll put your wife in the Hall of Fame." Um, but if they did Michelle, and then Layla, and then Lay Cool, like
I'll
that was like the next two
I'll raise
entrants.
you on that. I'll raise you on that. If they do Michelle McCool and then Layla, they have to break the Hall of Fame ring in half and give each one of them half, like they did with the belt.
Oh Jesus.
It should be so fire.
Oh, that's
Just for the
good.
bit, just for the bit. I'm a big sucker on being dedicated to the bit. It's just my thing.
Yeah, that's good stuff. All right, well, Michelle McCool,
Uh,
everybody, congratulations.
Yeah.
what do you think is gonna be the next Hoff? What do you guys think? I think Demolition will probably be
It
the tag
better,
team.
yeah.
It's
It
got to be
better be
Demolition.
better.
Like there's no other reason to put them on the Legends contract right now, knowing that the fans are screaming for Axe and Smash to be in the Hall of Fame.
I would I would love for Cornette to finally be put in. Um,
Hold on.
Okay,
Before you continue.
Sponge,
Hold on, before you
you
continue,
gotta
before you
let me do
continue.
it. You gotta let me do it. You gotta let me do it. You gotta let me do it. This same conversation that we were just talking about on all the hypotheticals we were talking about for the Hall of Fame. When we were going over tag teams, Demolition came to mind first, but then I had Midnight with Jim Cornette.
I mean, just Jim. I mean, just I mean, like think about it. Like the cultivation, pun intended, cult. Get it? Um, his ability to cultivate, and I think a lot of it too was just like I think it was the era of the like. So if Cena, Orton, Lesnar, Shelton, Batista, like all those guys
OVW.
were, yeah, the OVW. But think about it too, like the trajectory of the industry that predicated them wanting to be interested in it, right? Think about the era that we're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
And not just even WWE, right? You've got people like MJF, you've got uh really just MJF. No, but you've got all these like crazy, you got the Codys, you got the Owens, you've got the Sami Zayn. Like think about the
FTRs.
you get the yeah, sure, yeah, 100%.
Let's not forget about the people like Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry, Darby Allen, like I'm sure like even as far as like cultural significance goes, I mean, I'm probably one of the more woke, soft, persons ever. I can't get over just how much true representation there is in professional wrestling right now, only to kind of imagine like if we got Cena, Orton, Batista, Shelton, Lesnar, and that stemmed from what we got with Hogan, Andre,
Savage.
DiBiase, Savage, you know, and even right in that same time frame, you had Austin. He had already finished. Rock had already finished at Jace at that point. Michaels, just to see like where we're at now with the talent that we have now, like just what could be coming down coming down the road. But that's why someone like Jim Cornette makes so much sense. And just like I was in the room when Heyman gave his Hall of Fame induction speech, and I was sitting that night. I was sitting in a comp section at SmackDown in Philly. I was sitting next to Grayson Waller's mom and aunt, and I'll finally remember to post the picture of us here in a little bit in the Discord. But I cannot wait, and we got to do it soon, right? Corny just lost Harley Quinn.
Yeah.
You know that broke my heart, and I'm sure it did everybody else who enjoys his stuff. But we have to be able to capture talent before it's too late. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I just brought this up to Villain the other day with Vader. Like Vader was sick, and then after he passed away, they inducted him to the Hall of Fame. I like for what they for 10 years. He's like he wanted to be in the Hall of Fame. He got really sick, was coming to his end, and then they waited for him to pass, and then he got inducted. I don't like when they induct. Like I told Villain all the time, I don't like when they induct when they're deceased because they're not really there to celebrate their moment. If that makes any sense.
Yeah.
Because it's usually like a family member or a close ass manager that was mega more close to them than the fucking family member
You,
that usually announces for them. So yeah,
you're
I have
not
an issue
wrong.
with.
You're not wrong. But the segue into that is Vader wanted to go into the Hall of Fame. Like Cornette
Yes.
does
Yes.
not want to be part of the WWE Hall of Fame right now.
I
We don't.
think he'd take it.
We
I think if it was the right person that called him, I think he'd be like, okay.
If it's the right package into the Hall of Fame, yes. If he goes in with the Midnight, then he goes in, and he definitely does it. If they don't get recognized for their work in the territories, I don't think he takes it because I don't think his relationship with WWE on the inside with any of them is strong enough at this point to carry him over. Like, is when all that news came out about Vince and Michael Hayes, like he was like to hell with a lot of them, like fucking they get what they deserve. Like he was just scorched earth on everybody backstage. Like you're gonna have to get the right package to get him into the Hall of Fame.
He
Yeah.
dick
Well,
rides the Rock, so you got to just send the Rock to his house.
Give him a truck. Give him a pickup truck.
yeah.
Yep, he'll be like, "Look, I just gave this old man a pickup truck,
tell
and
him
I'm a
tell
big guy."
tell him Punk will induct him and he can sing like Mussolini.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, by the way, when I went to Raw, yeah, I screamed. People, like the lyrics. If you've noticed, if you hear it in the crowd, and we saw it in Nashville, by the time you get to that B section of the first verse in Cult of Personality, no one sings like Mussolini, but me and my buddy Jake and his son Brody screamed like Mussolini, and that was fantastic. Anyway,
In improper
Yeah.
context, that's hilarious because you just said that you and your buddy screamed like Mussolini.
yeah, we sure did. Spit was
Yeah.
Yep.
everywhere. Anyway, go ahead.
You can't have Rock and Roll Express in there without having the Midnight Express in there.
Thank you.
You're
Like
you're
And
absolutely right.
it's
this is
gotta
yeah.
happen.
Like you can't take a historic rivalry and put one side into the Hall of Fame and be like, well, I mean, their rivalry with this other team made them so historic. Like, why don't we put
Right.
both of them in? It's like Demolition has to get in first before the Midnight
Yeah.
Express. Like that. That's
Yeah.
just just
I
a
agree.
given at this point. But there's some ridiculous shit in the Hall of Fame right now. Like we were talking about it in the Discord, and Paul said like it's turning out like he doesn't want it to turn out like the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, but it kind of is going that route, and he's not wrong. Like it's getting a little dicey. I'm gonna really hope that the next few Hall of Fame inductions are good. Paul Heyman
And
last
make
year
it
was great. Like there was nobody better to headline Triple H's First Class.
And I also don't think that it needs to be just 6 people. Like for crying out loud, like when and Paul, this kind of echoes your sentiment about rock and roll and midnight. The like not all members of the Four Horsemen were inducted. You know, like Oli, um, Pillman,
This is true.
um,
Only
Mongo.
the original 4.
Well, they threw
Well,
J.J. Dillon in there too, but
Well, yeah, but J.J.
um,
Dillon was the president of WCW at one point.
and he was the man. And
Yeah.
Paul Roma. I mean, you could even do, and I think this might be like because I think a lot of us have seen how, especially as old heads, we've seen how Lex Luger has, you know, in his he's living with peace now, right? Like I'm not a religious person, but I
Yeah.
fully support people who do have that, and he's got it, and he seems to be truly at peace. What better way than to give someone who was he the best wrestler in the world? No. Did we believe in Lex as kids? Absolutely.
No, I did not.
Well,
Yeah,
but
you weren't
No,
around,
no,
Sponge.
I don't get me started with Lex Luger. Villain might know the lore
Oh my
there.
God. Yeah, he's gonna rant about the whole Miss Elizabeth thing.
well, anyway, yeah,
Like
Lex and Miss Elizabeth.
I get what
But
you're saying with
I
the
understand
I
that.
get what you're saying with the whole Horseman thing, but you have that problematic area where Mongo and Benoit were part of the Horsemen. So
I mean,
you can't ever do every member of the Horsemen.
yeah, but Mongo, um, kind of given his current state, you know,
Yeah.
um, kind of like drawing the parallel of not only Paul's mention of rock and roll midnight, but also kind of drawing the Vader parallel.
Yeah.
Um, anyway, Hall of Fame. The here's the shitty part about it. None of it, none of it has made any sense for the most part. There have been like Paul Heyman when they're doing WrestleMania in Philly makes total sense.
Yeah.
This year, in my opinion, Triple H and Michelle McCool, what?
Thank you. Thank you so much.
It's gonna get bigger. Don't worry.
Honestly,
That's
and
what she said.
that guy that speared Bret Hart, he's in the Hall of Fame.
Oh, that's true. Knocked his head into the
The guy
sixth
that,
row.
yeah, fucking damn.
I just
Here's
mule
some
kicked him.
here's some news that I wanted to get to. I just read this right now. A former writer from like do you guys remember that horrible era from like 2017, 16, 18, and 19 of SmackDown when it was really bad?
Oh yeah.
That head writer, and you know who the head writer was? Road Dogg. Well, I'm just now reading that Road Dogg has now been reasserted as the head writer of SmackDown.
Shut up. Did that?
So I
Did,
wanted to
what?
get you guys. I wanted to get your guys' thoughts on that now,
I'm
because
so
he was
glad
the
that
part.
I'm so glad that that's the one that I'm not going to. Fucking next
Yeah,
month. I got my Raw ticket and my Roadblock ticket. I'm not going to
he's
SmackDown. That
what's it called? Was part of the worst era of the current what I grew up on, kind of basically garbage.
Okay. Did you guys listen to his podcast?
Road Dogs.
Yes.
I gave up on it.
Same. Yeah. I love Cassio. I thought that guy was great, but Road Dogg was like, he would start telling a story, and then he'd be like, "Sorry, I don't know where we were." I don't understand how he could run a Target, let alone a creative writing team. Well, I guess you know what. Let me take that back. Let me give my guy the benefit of the doubt. He was working under Vince.
Oh,
yeah.
yep.
Let's because I happen to enjoy the human being that is Road Dogg. He's another one of those good old boys that has rededicated his life. Again, not me, but I'm so happy that people have that kind of thing.
Yeah.
It's so important to people, and he seems to be truly at peace. I think he probably lived a pretty hard life and is completely on the other side of it, like so many of our favorite wrestlers have been able to get through. But maybe it's going to be better now that Vince isn't there and it's Triple H. Because I'm not going to lie, the last few weeks of Raw and SmackDown this past Friday, like last night,
Junk.
couldn't even get halfway through it.
Junk.
Yeah.
I didn't. I don't even have cable. I don't know if you guys have cable, but I don't have cable, so I can't even watch it, and I don't plan on watching it.
I'm willing to
Yeah.
give the Road Dogg the benefit of the doubt this time around, only because he doesn't have to go and directly answer to Vince, like Nikki just said. But remember, in that period of 2016, 2017, 2018, 20, look at some of the head writers that we had backstage. Like we had Paul Heyman was running Raw, like writing Raw. We had
Yeah. Okay.
what's his name was fucking writing SmackDown. Fucking Brother Love. Fucking I can't remember his name. I don't know.
Bruce.
Bruce
Oh, Bruce.
Pritchard. There we go. Like Bruce Pritchard can write a show if he needs to write a show. Like if it has to go through Vince and go through massive rewrites, it's not going to be good. Like Paul Heyman could have given us the greatest shit ever on Monday Night Raw from 2016 to 2019, but it all had to go through Vince. So it's like,
I mean, we did get Jinder Mahal
oh
during
god.
that time. We had Daniel Bryan's in-ring
Oh
return,
yes, that was
Daniel
fire.
and then
Bryan's
we had Kofi Mania.
You know
against
what?
Vince's
During that
will. We had Kofi Mania.
Right.
that
Yeah.
era was had its it was ass, but it had its ups.
It sure did.
It's
It
all
sure
about the
did.
generation that we're in. Like I'm going to take this back for a second because like when Nikki was talking about that era of the OVW guys coming in and how bad the product was leading up to them all showing up, that's exactly the time period that Michelle McCool was carrying the goddamn women's division. Like you kind of made my point with that whole spiel. like,
Yeah. Yeah.
like that's
No,
the last I'm
it's
gonna say about it. But you kind of made my point a little bit.
yeah.
I just hope with the 3 hour format of SmackDown. I know they're reverting to 2 hours in like summer. I don't know if so far SmackDown with 3 hours is just a little overwhelming.
It
Yeah, it
is.
should have stayed two. It should have stayed two because it was before the move, and they were, you know, it was 2 hours, and 2 hours it would fly by because it was so good. You didn't realize the two you until they said, "Oh, main event time." You're like, "What?"
Yeah.
You know, because you were enjoying it.
I like Netflix's format for Raw now. I like the 2 hours with the open ended anywhere between 15 and 40-minute run over for that third hour. Because if it doesn't go the full 3 hours, nobody's gonna complain. If the show is too short, everybody's gonna complain. It's like, why bring it back to 3 hours? No, we hate 3 hours. You're never gonna appease everybody.
Oh,
Hey,
we need to bring it back to the 30 minute. Bring it back to the 30 minutes. He can fit in like 3 matches and 2 promos.
Yeah.
do you know what I just realized that was going on? And correct me if I'm wrong on this. There's three of you here, three brains. Didn't we get the best versions of Bray Wyatt during those times? The 2016 to 2019.
You know what? We before I want to reference this. Last Sunday, I got a Bray Wyatt tattoo on my hand,
Yes,
on
you
my
did.
Let's
arm.
go.
No,
So yeah, but yes, we did. We got him winning the world title for the first time ever. Randy Orton joined the Wyatt family, and that was pretty cool to see. The rivalry with him and his own Wyatt family. It turned into the Fiend. It, Vince kind of ruined it towards the end, and I will always hate Vince for that because
We
yeah,
we don't talk about that Hell in a Cell.
we don't talk about that Hell in a Cell. We don't talk about him getting burned alive on fucking during the pandemic, and that was really dumb. And if you watch the documentary, he was anti against it.
Yeah, but
But just
again,
like
it's everything had to go through Vince. All the
so,
right.
good
yeah, but
stuff that Bray wanted to do was against Vince's will, like Kofi Mania. Like everything that Vince wanted Bray to do, Bray didn't want to do.
Well, the
thinking
only
back to
reason why,
Nikki, yeah,
yeah,
please
no, I
go
was
ahead.
gonna say the only reason why I bring that up is because if we're getting the Road Dog back, we've kind of had a lapse in Uncle Howdy. Like I really, I know we're like jumping around, and I'm gonna have to bounce
Absolutely.
here in a few seconds, but uh, I cannot wait to get a much better. I have not enjoyed the Uncle Howdy so far. I think the initial debut of Uncle Howdy with the spotlight behind him and the twirl of his finger and just kind of like that shit eating grin was done so well, and what they've done thus far, like I don't really buy Dexter Loomis as a part of the Wyatt Six. Like, no, Dexter, you're dope, dude. You're probably he's a great guy.
Oh God,
But
here we go again.
Jesus.
sorry, I don't necessarily see. I don't know how have you guys felt? And I know I'm like
But
completely shifting it, but
no, you're fine. But for the White Six, amazing fucking debut. I don't know if you remember the way they were introduced. They killed all the producers.
Fucking horror movie
Everyone.
backstage.
Yeah,
yeah.
that was fire. And then the presentation, their first match was like, okay, whatever. And then they feuded with nobodies, and then it
Well,
didn't.
where do you
And
go from there? Where do you go from committing
like,
murder and like Chad Gable just completely busted open?
it sucked the way they went with it. And then now they're not even on Raw anymore. They got moved to Netflix. Don't want them, and they got moved to SmackDown. So now I ain't watching that shit because I can't even watch it. And it doesn't. There's nothing interesting there. They should be if they killed producers and murdered people on live
Like Chad Gable.
TV. Yeah, they should be fucking like on a like killing spree of wins and having gold on their hands or something. But the creative for them has not been very well, in
Well,
my
I'll
view.
I'll throw out an idea here. What if with this whole partnership with TNA, what do you have? What if you have the Wyatt Six go up against TNA's best, like Eric Young and Sammy Callahan, like all those monster bruiser, freaking like deathmatch type, freaking horror characters that TNA's got over there, and I
Send it, man. But
let
put
it
it on TNA. Put it on
let
TNA.
put it on TNA, but let that whole program be produced by Joseph Park.
Sure. Or who's the other guy that's at TNA? Or Hurricane. Send Hurricane down to TNA and have him do it.
This works too.
I mean, there are so many. Isn't Jason Jordan a huge comic book person too?
He is, and I know we've seen him on the last few Raws for running down with the officials to break up a run-in and shit.
Yeah. Good night.
You
Well,
mean Kurt Angle's son?
Yeah.
right. Oh gosh, what a short-lived thing. Um, well, friends, I need to run. I'm hitting a wall and it's about to storm, and my dog is looking at me like, if I don't go poop right now, I'm gonna kill somebody. Um, so I got to put on pants and go outside. But it was a pleasure to talk to each of you. If I get back in here and after beating the storm and I feel like it, I'll jump back in. But I need to go do
Oh
this.
yeah,
It was an absolute pleasure to speak and hang out with each of you today.
Hell yeah, man. We definitely got to
oh
do this
yeah,
again
Yep.
sometime.
Welcome.
All
oh
right, I'll
yeah.
talk to you guys a little later.
Yep.
Don't poop on your dog.
Okay, bye.
Well,
But we can
Wyatt,
continue.
I mean,
We can continue forwarding on.
I wish they would have continued the vignettes with Bo talking to each one of them individually.
Yeah, that was good.
That was excellent. They should have done each character.
What if they're not done? Like, what if we get another vignette because Alexa just got moved to SmackDown?
I sure do hope that something gets introduced
Like,
Well,
she,
with Alexa.
I'm also worried because they've pulled Bo off the road.
yeah,
Oh
this
yeah,
is true.
isn't he? He's hurt or I don't know if he's hurt or something's up, right?
They're not they're not saying.
Damn.
This
And
is never
I
good.
don't know.
This is never good
No.
because the two times that we saw this were with Brody Lee and uh, Bray Wyatt.
And
Yep.
also, yeah. Ooh.
That
Hopefully,
would be horrific.
we wish him the best and well, and hopefully he's doing amazing.
I believe.
Yes, I believe that Bo Dallas is gonna
I see
come
what you
back.
did there.
No, I definitely believe. Like he was one of my favorites back when NXT started.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
won the belt, right? At one
Yeah,
point.
Yep.
he won the
Yep.
belt and he held it all the way until he got absolutely raffle stomped by fucking I think it was Sami Zayn or Neville. I
I think it was Neville,
think it
but
was Neville.
while
Yeah.
while we're on the topic of belts, what are you guys' opinions on Shinsuke Nakamura's U.S. title reign?
I haven't seen anything this bad since fucking Ambrose's U.S. title reign. Like, you show up and you just walk around and harass people with the belt, but you don't fucking defend it. Like, what the hell?
And it's crazy too. He got repackaged, and I like his repackaged character. Like the theme music and the attire is amazing, and him having the belt. But he's done nothing, or they've had him do nothing.
I don't
You're
think
correct.
I don't think they know how to use that belt yet. Like, they need some of these mid Carter. I would love to see somebody like a Josh Alexander show up and then just absolutely upend Nakamura, because every week Josh Alexander would be defending that fucking U.S. title against
Is it sad?
somebody his caliber.
Can I break you the news here, villain?
No.
Josh Alexander is the other company bound.
Yep.
Reportedly, and I don't really trust Sean Ross Sapp, so let's not do that yet.
That's true. I don't trust him either, but I just want to. I don't. I just want to let that know that it's a. I think it's a tug of war game of money right now, probably, or
Yeah.
something.
If it's a tug of war over money, fucking Josh
Tony Khan's probably like,
Alexander has to weigh the options of, hey, I can go work with people like Cody and Sami Zayn
and
and
be a
Chad
big
Gable
star,
and be a huge mega star because of the way
or
that I
get
can
lost
go in
in
the
the
ring.
shuffle, or get lost in the shuffle of AW and won't be on the show ever, but get like $1 billion a year or
If
some
he
shit.
wanted to stay on TV for 400,000 or 500,000 people, like he would have just stayed in TNA at that point. Like, if he wants to get his name out there and be part of something crazy and huge, I would love to see something like a Josh Alexander against a Braun Breaker. Because Josh
That would
Alexander
be
is not a
fire.
small guy. He could manhandle Braun Breaker if he needed to. He's like a Cesaro type that's actually good in the ring and on the mic.
Absolutely. Well,
It makes me
now
sad.
I know it does. It's a heartbreak for you. But now it's time to get to the main event. Are you ready for the main event?
Yeet.
Alrighty. The main event. It's here. What we originally came here for, but we talked 2 hours about
Okay,
global
it
championship
wasn't
wrestling.
2 hours, it was 52 minutes.
The women's Royal Rumble. I mean, sorry, no, the 2025 Royal Rumble. We are finally here to talk about that. It kicked off with the women's Royal Rumble. It was a Royal Rumble of women that kicked off the Rumble. Um, before we get here, who are you guys' choosing picks to win this Rumble? What did you guys all have? I had Io Sky was my pick for this Rumble. What did you guys have?
EO wouldn't have been bad because the crowd loves her. Um, because we didn't know she was going to be there. If I known Alexa Bliss was going to be there, I would have picked her right away. But
Another villain mark here.
Yeah.
hey, he was born in Columbus, Ohio, so it's hometown girl.
There you go.
Villain, who was
I
your pick for this Rumble?
you know, I the roster pool for this Rumble, for the women's Rumble, was so good. I really didn't have a clear-cut favorite in there. If I was gonna go with anybody that I knew was gonna be in the ring, I was afraid it was gonna be somebody like a Bianca. I wouldn't have had a problem if it was Bailey again, but what do you do with her? Like, Io's always a good. I didn't have a spot in there where I could have just picked somebody and be like, this one's gonna win.
Yeah, those are our picks for that Rumble. But to get started here, I'm gonna go through the list and I'm gonna go through them really thoroughly. If you guys would like to stop me, go ahead. So if you guys are cool with that, I will stop with the big ones. You know, the big returns.
Well, when
Um,
you start talking about the first three, there's something I want to do with this, but it just
and absolutely. And before I do that, I just want to say that they did a big props with showcasing the women and giving them a moment, and I appreciated that because some of these women I've never seen in the ring, and some of these women I've never seen them able to get a spotlight on the regular, weekly shows, and they did a good job with showcasing each one of these women each time there was an entry in there.
Yeah, if I could just add one other thing,
Yep.
and yes, the pool of it, of the women it was amazing. And unlike Royal Rumble 2022,
Oh God.
Oh,
where you had about a million, surprise returns of just, they were there for one off. You
yes.
see how the evolution has gone for them because they didn't need to rely on that this time.
Well, if WWE's taught me anything, it's evolution is a mystery.
Oh Jesus.
I'm kidding. No, I've as soon as the match started, when it was going on, I was texting with uh, Angel back and forth, and I I love the fact that we had like 12, 13, 14 people in the ring at the same time because they all got to showcase themselves at the same time. Like you didn't have two people in the ring and then somebody came in and then got chucked out so the other two could fight again. Like
And
you had
also there was no
everything
like
going on all over the
breaks.
ring and nobody was running into each other like that.
No breaks
Drew.
too, because if you see some people sneak under the rope and take a break under the apron or some shit,
Oh
you
yeah.
know. So there was none of that in this women's
I
rumble.
do, and I also want to call out huge save by Liv when Wiley, whatever her name is, Valkyrie, she kept having a little wardrobe malfunction, and
Yeah.
Liv popped up there and saved her for a little bit.
Yeah, the neck clasp broke very early into her being in the ring, and the ref had to even help her fix it.
Oh, I'm so sad. I just exposed the biggest entrant of the rumble, and that was Lara Valkyrie.
No.
No, I'm just kidding. Alrighty. So at number one for this rumble was Io Sky. She was the Iron Woman of this rumble.
No, she wasn't.
It was Liv,
Nope.
wasn't it?
Nope. Io Sky
Nope.
came in number one. I'm gonna do this only for the first three because it's so ridiculous that it happened. Io Sky
Okay.
at number one lasted 1 hour, 6 minutes, 45 seconds.
Oh,
Third
he got the.
third longest in this rumble.
Go ahead.
Go ahead. You were gonna go. You go down the list and I'll tell you the first
Oh,
three.
sorry. You said the first. Okay, so yeah, Io Sky number one. Sorry. Two was Keith's favorite, Liv Morgan.
One
Three,
hour, 7 minutes flat. Liv Morgan, second longest in this rumble.
Roxanne Perez.
Roxanne Perez was the actual Iron Woman in this match. She
Mhm.
set the
I just
all-time
remembered.
women's rumble match record at 1 hour, 7 minutes, and 47 seconds. Like she outlasted
And she.
Liv by 47 seconds, but one, two, and three lasted a combined almost 3.5 total hours in the rumble.
Number four, Lara Valkyria. Number five, Chelsea Green. Number six, the worst, and I mean it,
Nope,
the worst.
nope.
No, no, you let me finish. I have never seen such garbage, slow in-ring work in forever since
Yeah, you
AEW.
have.
And B-Fab, her moves would look amazing if she was fucking going at like 100 light year speed. But man, she looked like she was choreographing everything she was doing. Number
Wow,
seven, Ivy Nile.
you're making B-Fab really sound like the eventual winner of this match.
She sadly won. It's crazy.
Under
Uh,
underperforming, slow as shit, not over with the crowd. Yeah, I mean that sounds like the actual winner of this match.
Number seven, Ivy Nile. Number eight, Zoe Stark, who almost died when she botched her top rope thingy she did
Mhm.
earlier in the match.
Yeah.
Number nine, a Lash legend. Number 10, Paul's favorite, Bianca Belair. 11, Shayna Baszler. 12, Bailey. 13, their last match in WWE, Sonya Deville. 14,
Say it right.
Maxine
Say it right. Say it right.
Sonya Devlin.
No. 14. Say it right.
Oh, Maxine, Barbie girl doll, Maxine
No,
Dupree.
no, it's Maxine Dupree.
Oh, okay, there you go. 15, Keith's right behind Alexa Bliss's favorite wrestler, women's wrestler Naomi.
Ugh.
16, Jada Parker. 17, Dewdrop, Piper Niven. 18, Natalia. 19, amazing performer, my new favorite women's wrestler, Jordan Grace. 20, Mishin. 21, the biggest, like, I popped, okay? For 21, I was sitting there and I popped because it's been 2 fucking years. The return, I'll give it to Villain.
It's the biggest pop of the night. Like it's been measured in decibels. It's the biggest return of the night pop wise. And of course it was Alexa Bliss. Decked out in her Fiend for Life jacket. Like, come on, man. Like I'm gonna put this out there, right? I watch a lot of reaction videos to other wrestling platforms and channels that react to all of these things. Any one of you that's asking why she comes out with the doll, you people don't watch and you don't pay attention to the storylines. You are the people who would ask, who the hell's Bray Wyatt? That's why you don't understand why she came out with the doll. Well, thank you
Also,
for coming to my TED Talk.
I'm just scared that she's gonna have magical powers again.
They're not gonna
But
do that.
No.
forwarding on, number 22, Zelina Vega. Number 23 should be released, Candice LeRae. Number 24, another one of my new favorite female wrestlers, Stephanie
I
Vaquera.
wonder
Because
why.
no, she's really good in the ring. And
Uh-huh.
but 25, the other surprise entry was Trish Stratus, which was cool to see. Fire. 26, Rochelle. 27, Paul's favorite wrestler, Charlotte Flair.
No, that's Angel's
20,
favorite wrestler is Charlotte
oh,
Flair, by the way.
28, another one of my new favorite female wrestlers, Julia. And
Hmm.
29 was Nia Jax. And 30, they just left a phone call a couple of minutes ago, Nikki Bella.
You can look, but you can't touch.
So I will stand on everyone got a moment to look good in this Rumble, except for
Except for
Nia Jax.
BFAB, yeah.
But for BFAB, that was just horrendous. And the refrigerator, and she fucking eliminated half the fucking ring.
At
And
once.
Nick
At once.
and
Well,
That was
Nikki Bella
fire. She knocked 6 people out at once.
and Nikki Bella was a waste of an entry of my eyes. Go get the bleach.
Put the
So yeah,
fries in the bag.
put the fries in the bag. Yes. So what do you guys? What was your opinion, Paul, on this female women's 2025 Royal Rumble?
well, it was very good up till the end. I do like a little bit Charlotte Flair, but the reason there's so much hate for her winning it is because they've done this with her every time she's come back from being off or injury. She's come right back into the world title spot, and people are sick of it. So I understand the hate there. Um, but that's the only thing I think that really brought me down about it.
You just leaked the winner. I'm kidding.
Sorry.
It's okay. But no, absolutely, and she doesn't deserve it. That's the thing too. Like she's already a 14-time. Correct me if I'm wrong, right? 14-time women's champion.
Ugh.
Yes. Did you see that? Did you see the meme that shows Charlotte Flair 14-time champion? Then it says Ric Flair 16-time champion. Then it
Also
said,
5-time divorced,
right. Yes. That
and
was
she's catching
hilarious.
up. She's catching up too. She's like at 2 or 3.
Yep. She needs like 2 and 3 of each one to break Flair.
For all the longtime listeners to this channel, you guys already understand why Sponge didn't ask me my thoughts on this fucking Royal Rumble match.
There you go.
You guys understand that I loved every bit of this Royal Rumble match until it became very clear with her fucking entry that Charlotte Flair was gonna just steamroll over every deserving participant of this match right
And I
back
think
into the world title spot.
she might be the first fucking wrestler that had a big giant pyro entry fucking entrance at a Rumble.
Yes.
And
To
also the
to a
last,
mediocre pop.
yeah.
Maybe that's why they went with the pyro to cover up the fact that there was no pop.
There you go. That's a fact. Everyone loves pyro. People will pop the pyro
I
because
mean,
it's pyro.
you can't even cover it up now. Like she comes out on either show and she gets booed genuinely,
Oh
as
yeah,
loud as
SmackDown.
the
Her
boos,
first
all the boos that they pipe in for fucking Dominic Mysterio. She gets these things naturally.
for Raw. Remember, she came out with Rhea Ripley on the Raw after Rumble, and she got booed coming in,
Yep.
talking, and till Rhea came out, she got fucking some pop.
You have to be a special level of awful if you are Charlotte Flair. You are the daughter of Ric Flair. You are as talented as you can possibly be, and the people down in Nashville hate you. You can't possibly go into Flair country and be hated with the last name Flair. It is almost impossible, but she still fucking did it.
So yeah, the last three women in this match were Roxanne Perez, the Refrigerator, and woo won the match,
Ugh.
and yeah, that was the match. I give the overall match a 1 out of 10. You know, the one was 100. You know, everyone besides BFAB and Charlotte and the Refrigerator and Nikki Bella and hold on, who and yeah and BFAB were all terrible,
He
but
said
everyone else was
BFAB
great.
twice.
Everyone else was great. So
That's how bad it was.
Okay, we
there you
can't
go.
call it bad because the whole Rumble was great. The whole women's Rumble was great until
Till
27 hit and you knew it was academic at that point. Like that whole display of talent with 13, 14, 15 women in the ring at the same time, running almost flawlessly and not tripping over each other. That was flawless execution and a spotlight on a division that really, really needed it because it's the only thing that the IWC can say about WWE is that WWE doesn't use their women's division properly. They started to in this Rumble, and then they completely fucking McMahoned all over it.
And I thought that would be over with this new administration in
Like
WWE, but I
you,
guess not.
you can't give this women's Rumble a 1 out of 10 because that's disingenuous. Like
I don't know. I give it a 100. I
as
give it a one with zeros hiding behind the one.
as much as I hate the finish, absolutely hated the finish, which is a recurring theme on this show. As much as I hated the finish, this match was the greatest women's Rumble match I've ever seen. You had the first three entrants last all the way, basically all the way to the end. Like just showing off the young talent of tomorrow and Io Sky and Liv Morgan and Roxanne Perez. Like you're establishing that Maxine Dupree, with the last 2 years of her career being absolutely awful in ring, that she can go. Like she went and she had some decent spots in there with, you know, Shayna Baszler's fucking faction and Ivy Nile. But I mean, it was good. It set up some stories, and I mean, come on, Jordan Grace, Alexa Bliss. Like we got some real fun surprises in there. Like everybody knew Jordan Grace was going to be there, and as soon as Sean Ross Sapp said that Alexa Bliss wasn't going to re-up her contract, you knew she was going to be there because I'm not going to do it again.
And there you go. Now, we're not gonna, you know what? We'll just do this in order. Following a good Rumble with a shitty finish was another shitty finish. The 2 out of 3 falls match between Motor City Machine Guns and DIY. To keep it short, because I don't really want to talk about this match unless you guys want to talk about. Do you guys want to talk about this match
I reserve
other than the ending?
I reserve the right to mute my microphone and not go on a tantrum at this point.
There you go. So to save villain everyone's ears from a screaming villain, Mercy Machine Guns lost because they lost, and then the Street Profits came out and they whacked everyone with a crutch, and then They helped them DIY win, and then also hit them with crutches, and then that was the match. I don't. It was a sad match to see because it was. I was excited to see them fight, and so was Villain. Paul, do you have anything to say about that match?
Yeah, I mean, it was going to be a good match, and then yes, that finish was absolutely horrible.
Sent me to a retirement home after that one. But thank God, after that two bad finishes, we finally got a good finish.
Is it
Because following that was
is it
the
safe to unmute now?
yes, it is. You're safe to come back. So following the two bad finishes, we get a good finish because up next was the reverse ladder match between Cody Rhodes and Kevin Owens. And man, was this match brutal as hell. Kevin Owens took some crazy spots. Cody and Kevin did a crazy spot together, doing that fisherman's hook suplex into the ladder. Kevin Owens getting launched up into the air and landing back face on the ladder of the the middle part of it. Like, I don't know. That was probably the most modern day brutality of wrestling I've seen in a long time on a WWE show.
Yeah.
What do you think?
That was definitely brutal. I was genuinely worried when Cody took that Fisherman Buster spot. Like it looked gnarly, like gnarly.
There was a lot of it that looked that way.
Like I love the finish with the Alabama Slam because that looked gnarly on purpose. Like the
And I
Fisherman
thought it was
Buster
good.
looked absolutely horrific by accident.
And
Yeah,
let's not forget. Let's not
I
forget.
thought
Uh-oh, here
Oh,
we go.
sorry, my bad. My
I,
bad. Go
I
ahead, Paul.
I thought Owens was dead. I mean, I really did. I mean, he didn't. He not only just going through it, but then he laid there for quite a while before he even moved. And I was like, oh crap.
With his head stuck in between the rungs of the ladder. That shit was oh such a
Holy, yeah,
good
good
finish.
lawyer.
Such a good finish. The whole drama with Sami Zayn standing there too. It was so good.
And yeah, there you had it. Cody Rhodes
Okay,
grabs.
I'll be fair. I'll be fair to everybody who says that we're biased. That Fisherman Buster spot was unnecessary. That's some fucking Darby Allin type shit right there. I get it. I'm allowed to say that it was cool, but it was probably unnecessary.
It was most definitely unnecessary, but man, it was a sick ass finish, and it added to the brutality of this rivalry.
Yeah.
Because he did remember he did that power driver on Cody. He tried to kill him, so it was
Yeah,
like,
I mean it's
you
not
know, you
sense
trying to kill me?
it's not senseless violence for the sake of senseless violence. Like these
Yeah,
two
Tony.
genuinely needed a match where they were going to brutalize each other.
So yeah, there was your main event of the Royal Rumble for a singles match in the reverse ladder match. Um, Finally, the real main event,
Oh
just
god.
like the real world champion who's been a champion for almost 1,000 days, CM Punk. The real main event, the men's Royal Rumble. And I'll do the same. I'll go through the list. But do you guys have any notes before we get into the men's Rumble?
No.
No, I won't spoil the ending this time.
You won't spoil the winner like
No,
this time,
like
Paul.
last time. Yeah, no,
LOL, Brock Lesnar
um,
wins. Oh wait, no, that was the 2022
no,
Rumble.
that was 2022.
we'll get there in like
No,
3 hours
no, we
or
won't.
whatever.
No, no, we won't.
At number one to kick off this Rumble was Rey Mysterio, and I was like, oh, okay, interesting.
I
Number
texted,
two,
I texted Angel immediately when Rey Mysterio came out first. I said Penta has to be next.
yeah, I looked at my wife and I said, Penta's next, and Penta number two, amazing, but too bad that Penta got eliminated in 1 minute. Number three, Chad
Fucking damn
Gable.
it.
Number four, Carmelo Hayes. Number five, Santos Escobar. Number six, Otis. Number seven, Braun Breaker. Number eight, Akira Tozawa. But Carmelo Hayes was eliminated by Braun Breaker, which led Carmelo Hayes to be so mad that he beat up Akira Tozawa with one punch, and that one punch led him to go to the hospital or a local medical facility, which then led to a YouTuber and a very popular streamer, ISO Speed, Triple H grabbing ISO Speed and throwing him out there. He grabbed a
In Crocs.
towel and said, "You're in Crocs," and he said, "You know what, kid? You're going to the Rumble." And they give him his theme music, his Tron. He's got his WWE merchandise on, and he's out there and he's excited. And Braun Breaker? Who did they eliminate? They eliminated Otis together,
I
or
think it was Otis.
was it?
Yeah, it was a bigger
Yeah,
guy. Yeah.
they eliminate Otis together, and ISO Speed does a backflip, and then all of a sudden, Braun Breaker's charging up the most insane power up spear and spears the living shit out of ISO Speed and throws him to Otis, and Otis throws the shit out of him to a commentary table, and there he went. And number 9, Sheamus. Number 10, Jimmy Uso. Number 11, Andrade El Idolo. Number 12, Jacob Fatu. Number 13th, Ludwig Kaiser, and then
It'd
got
be,
eliminated immediately.
it'd be really
Number 4,
cool. It would be really cool if somebody would just go ahead and like say his name out loud.
number 14, The Miz, and number 15,
Say his
say his
name,
name,
and he
and he
appears.
appeared.
Hilariously, tweeted out on X, Seamus believes in Joe Hendry.
Joe Hendry, number 15. Number 16, your tribal chief, Roman Reigns. And by God, if you guys want to add on this,
This was the greatest list of entrants from uh, 15 all the way down to 25. Like, this was the greatest list of entrants I've seen in a very long time, consecutively.
well, the 2022 Rumble pops that one, so
Oh my god, no fucking doesn't.
Paul knows what's up.
I know.
Yep, see, he knows. So, but to add on to that, Braun Breaker's spear on Roman was fucking amazing. It was better
Brutal.
than Roman Reigns' fucking spear.
And then almost immediately, when he went to throw out Roman just reversed it and threw him out.
Yep.
Number 17, Drew McIntyre, a fired up, infuriated Drew McIntyre looking at Roman. Number 18, no pop Finn Balor because why the fuck would they give him a new theme song at the Rumble?
Yeah, I didn't like that. Like they're
Number
teasing
19,
him leaving the Judgment Day already.
number 19, Shinsuke Nakamura. 20, Yeet, Jey Uso. 21, finally, I popped for this one. Sorry if I yelled in your ears. I popped for this one, but the return of the phenomenal one, the original phenomenal one with his original fucking theme song, AJ Swaggle. Came back
AJ
number
Swaggle.
21. Number 22 was Braun Strongman. Number 23, the man who's retiring in December, and in his final WrestleMania match, and this is where shit got real because you had John Cena gets in the ring and everyone pauses. And then guess what? Number 24, he's in the ring. Who's in the ring? It's Roman and Cena are looking head on head. And then number 24, like Mussolini and egg and cheese, CM Man, Pepsi Phil, the greatest wrestler on the planet Earth, makes his ring. And then they're all pumped up and they're all looking at each other like they're gonna make
And
out.
then the
And
countdown
then
goes.
the countdown goes and it's Seth Franklin Rollins.
Ugh.
And then 26 was Dominic Mysterio.
Which ended
20,
all of that run of great entrant after great entrant.
Yeah, so this is the end of the great entrances, guys. So don't be excited to see that. What's his name? I forgot his name, but don't worry about it. Number 27, Sami Zayn. 28, Damian Priest, and 29, LA Knight. And 30 was just
Hey
Logan
yo.
Paul. This
Oh.
Rumble beginning from 1 to 25, amazing. And then from 25 to 30, eh. What are your guys' opinions on this?
I was getting awful deja vu of the women's match when Cena came out. I was like, "Oh God, are they gonna Charlotte Flair us again? Like, is this what's gonna happen right here?" Like we knew going in that with the number of people that were in the ring at the same time, like Jacob Fatu had a great fucking showing in the Rumble. He was so good. Uh, all of that scary deathmatch shit that he all used to do, all of the nonsense that he used to do outside of the companies that he's worked for, like that seems like it's all gone. Like he's there and he's ready to like actually be a part of this. Did I lose everybody?
No, I was just waiting. I thought something was coming next.
Oh
Um,
no.
um, yeah, I just wish, um, I wish they would let Penta do a little more before he was eliminated. A lot of the time, he was like just laying in the corner, kind of chilling.
Well,
But
when Angel said it for earlier, like he had that spot where he went over the top rope in that spot that they were going to both hang on to the ropes and then get themselves back in. Both
yes,
of his
yes,
feet
yes,
did hit the
yeah,
floor, so I guarantee
yeah,
he was punished for that. Um, like when you botch a spot that bad and you know everybody's watching and you have all the TikTok reactors, like they're
yeah.
all going to be calling for Penta to not be in a Rumble anytime soon. Um, like
Yeah, I won't believe that because they're still presenting him as great, and I think one of my favorite spots of this Rumble was Roman Reigns and Penta working together for no reason.
it was so funny. Oh no, the flip up into the handstand basement drop kick, so good.
Yeah, that was pretty fire. He literally looked at Penta and said, "Hurry up, come here," and then just whoop up, and then he went to the corner and said, "Come on again, whoop up." That was pretty. And my biggest pet peeve of this Royal Rumble was that we didn't see Punk and Cena touch each other at all. I mean, wrestle each other at all.
Damn, dude, telling on
It's
himself and shit.
been 12 years and we didn't get to see them at all hit each other.
Well, that's what the chamber's for.
Imagine we get something dumb in the chamber where one of them gets eliminated and they just still never get a one-on-one bout. I'm gonna literally not watch the TV show ever again. So I better see a fucking something at the chamber. But do you guys want me to bring it to the final two in this Rumble?
Yeah.
Three. So after Punk eliminates Seth, Franklin, Rollins, and Roman Reigns at the same time, Seth Rollins kills Roman Reigns on live television. And Logan Paul then dumps Punk, and then Punk and Seth get in a brawl, and then Seth murders Roman again, and then yeah, there you go. The last three entries are now Logan Paul, Yeet, Jey Uso, and John Cena.
Oh God.
So they dump out Logan, and now it's the final two. They're
I
going
was
back and
genuinely
forth.
worried that Logan Paul might have actually been in the final two. I was genuinely worried.
And you know what? That's something to always be worried about. Um, I I have enjoyed that the last three Rumbles, the final two get a one-on-one match. Like the first in 2023, it was Cody and Gunther. In 2024, it was Punk and Cody. And this year it was Jey Uso and Cena, and they were going back and forth for like 7, 8 minutes before the elimination. Paul, do you want to go ahead and carry this on for this final bout?
Well, I mean, it was when it got down to the last two, I was more worried about Super Cena showing up
Yep.
taking over and finishing Jay off. But that's not what happened, was it?
Nope.
Absolutely not. I feel like I knew it in my heart that Cena was not winning this, and he wasn't gonna Super Cena himself in this moment.
I didn't trust this event after they Charlotte flared us, and then uh they gave us that in the 2 out of 3 falls match. Like I didn't trust this event. I thought just like Paul that they were gonna Super Cena us, and I was not for it.
So the
But I
winner
was
of this
wrong.
Rumble was, yeah, he was wrong. We were all wrong, and I was a little annoyed because Punk didn't win it. But
Yeah.
Cena did not win the Rumble, and Jey Uso and Cena were at the apron when he flips over to the rope and pushes Cena, and Yeet Man is going to main event WrestleMania.
I'll tell
What are
you
your
right
guys'
now.
thoughts?
I'll tell you right now. I don't hate it. Um, I don't hate it because with Jey Uso winning the Royal Rumble right now as it stands, only because of the direct winner. Uh, right now as it stands, the Elimination Chamber lineup is Cena, Punk, Priest, McIntyre, uh, Logan Paul, and either Seth Rollins or Finn Balor. We'll find out on Raw. That's a pretty star-studded fucking chamber match right there. Can you imagine if one of those six in the chamber wind up winning the Royal Rumble, and then we had somebody like Jey Uso in the Elimination Chamber? I get it echoes Kofi Mania for a while, but how do you justify Jey Uso going over Punk, Priest, Cena, Rollins, McIntyre? Like, you can't. Like in an actual match where you have to actually pin or submit these guys to eliminate them, you can't just throw them over the top rope.
Right.
Very true. I agree. What about you, Paul? What are your
I I
initial
d-
thoughts?
I didn't hate it. I don't understand all of the hate that it was getting online afterwards. Um, I mean, that's the people that throw a fit online.
Careful, careful.
Well, I'm just saying,
Angel's
you
one of
you
them. Angel's one of
you
them. Be
Well,
careful.
I was just mad mainly because Punk didn't get that Rumble win, and you know Punk's not winning next year because of where it's at. It
The
sucks.
number
But
of messages that I got from Angry Angel, who wound up calming down and coming to his senses, but the number of angry messages that I got from Angry Angel about Jay not being over, Jay not being able to work,
whoa, 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 whoa,
it was a
Jay, I never
thing.
said he was not over. Whoa, whoa, whoa,
It was
Jay
a
is
thing that
mega
went
over.
on for about 24 hours, and then he came to his senses and he said, "You know what? It was the right move." So
But Jay is not
he
is
well,
got there. Look.
explain.
The big motto of this channel is "We'll get there." Angel, he got there. See, I
Yeah,
told you we
I
get
got
there.
there, but I never said Jay was never over. I will say
I
that.
didn't say I
I just
didn't
said
say you said he was never over. I said at that point he's not the guy that's over enough to win that match.
Pepsi Phil. But back to Paul.
no. Okay. Um, yeah, I'm what I'm getting at is, people they sit there and say, well, they're not doing anything with the young people. They're not elevating anybody up. And then when they do that, then they shit on that. So I don't know what people want sometimes. Um,
Absolutely.
so yeah, I think it was the right time to do it.
And I agree. He's not young, but he's a newer star than like
Right.
anyone like a Roman or a Seth or a Punk who have they've already achieved their they've put their status in. None of the Usos have done anything single handedly and has gotten over, or it just when it comes to any tag team. Like in the New Day, Kofi's the only one that's had that big singles thing other than Big E. I'm not forgetting Big E's stance, but just to show and say. Because if you had like a bigger star, then it'd be like, okay, you're not putting anyone younger over or someone who's a new single star over. So I agree with what you're saying, Paul. I get it,
Yeah. Yeah.
and that was my view too from what's it called. But yeah, I have no additions. But overall in the Rumble, I thought the Rumble was great. Now that it's been a week and 2 weeks and I'm calmed down. I thought the Rumble was amazing. The men's Rumble was fire. The women's Rumble was fire, just not the outcome. And the
Right.
Cody match was amazing, and the Motor City Machine Guns was lackluster. So, what are your guys' final thoughts on the Rumble before we get on out of here?
You guys got to stop bringing up that 2 out of 3 falls match, man. Like I'm seeing red at this point.
Oops.
Yeah, I mean, I won't mention the match that shouldn't be mentioned,
Mm.
but yeah, the rumbles were good. And one not until the end. Um, and yeah, I thought Owens was dead. So,
I shouldn't laugh at that.
oh, that was just brutal. The whole thing.
Yeah. We needed
Easy
that
Conrad.
level of brutality, though.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah.
If we didn't get that level of brutality from them, it was going to be that level of brutality from like KO and Randy.
Right.
So, Villain, any closing moments for you for the Rumble?
You know, I, uh, I got nothing. I got nothing.
Well, there you go. Well, if you guys enjoyed this video, and if you guys made it to this long, this might be our longest video ever. It might be the greatest long video ever. Um, if you guys made it to the end, I appreciate you guys. Me, Paul, Villain, and
Nikki,
Nikki, and there is still one more addition to the channel that wasn't able to make it here. But
we'll get
we would
there.
we'll get there, and we appreciate if you got here to the end. Make sure to leave a like if you're new, subscribe if you're new, and share around. And also let us know what you guys thought about the Royal Rumble. Don't be scared to. We read the comments. Villain sneaks in the comments as well. And yeah, we check on in. And if you guys would like us to do anything special or anything new or to rewatch the 2022 Royal Rumble and talk about it,
I was just
don't
gonna
worry.
say that. There's 5 of us now. I was literally gonna put that out there. If you guys have something that you want us to do, if there's an old pay-per-view you guys want us to cover, territory days, if you want us to go back and review something, leave us a comment. Like, send it
Because if
out
you
there
don't,
for us.
we're gonna watch something dumb that I will make us all suffer to watch.
And then if you don't watch it, if you don't wind up watching what he wants you to suffer through watching, he will show up at your house.
Yes. So, without further ado, my final comment is everyone have a great night.
Yeah, I mean, like, come on now. Everybody have a great night, except for anybody that enjoyed the fucking 2 out of 3 falls. Let me not. Let me not. Let me not. Let me not. As we say here at Wrestle Relaunch, we'll get there.
We'll get there.
There you go, Paul. I'm so proud.